I want to preach from this text, the gospel according to good times. Amen. See the transformation from black people as supportive cast members to now having their own shows and telling their own story. Because you do know that nobody can tell your story like you can. It was Norman Lear, who just passed away this past December, was a gifted writer and creator of shows that exposed black life. And while he produced the show, Sanford and Son, and also the Jeffersons, we cannot forget the one show that would cause people to even be able to remember years after, called Good Times. Somebody shout Good Times. It was this show that all of us can remember, that many of you may already know and are familiar with, that you can never forget, already starred and premiered on CBS on February the 8th, 1974 in the Friday night slot at 8:30 p.m. at night. It was the inaugural show, and the famous theme music would hit the airwaves for the first time, and it was recorded as an immediate hit. Everybody loved the Good Times show. The show was about the Evans family who lived in the Cabrini Green public high-rise housing apartments in Chicago, Illinois, during a time when money was short and employment was scarce, and for the most part, blacks didn't have much money. It was the first show of its kind that would present a black family with a loving parents and well-rounded children and people that loved one another. History denotes that when this show began, the producers initially wanted the show to be about single parenting and raising 3 children with one parent being the mother, but Esther Roll, who was known as Florida Evans, was not having it. One cannot forget about the Good Times, and that I happened to see, and it was not gospel, but it gave me gospel clarity. It was the theme song that jumped out to me initially that I thought I had all the words to, and I thought I knew all the words down through history. Little did I know, I didn't know all the words and clarity. I just made them up as I went along, and I'm probably sure some of you did too along the way. I obviously used to have made them up because I looked them up in preparing for this message, and some of the real words were not what I've been singing all of these years. The song says, and I quote, "Good times, anytime you need a payment. Good times, anytime you need a friend. Good times, anytime you're down out from under, not getting hassled, not getting hustled, keeping your head above water, making a way when you can. Temporary layoffs, good times. Easy credit rip-offs, good times. Scratching and surviving, good times. Hanging in and jiving, good times. Not hanging in a child line, which I thought so for years. Good times. Ain't we lucky we got them? Good times." Somebody shout good times. Anybody remember that? All of those words and all these years, I thought they were hanging in a child line, and the real lyrics is hanging and jiving. I read those lyrics over and over again, and what I could not figure out is that at the beginning of the song talks about good times, and then by the end of the song is still talking about good times.